Hey you guys, it's Sam. I'm really excited for this video. I'm not trying to stir the pot, I swear to God. I just thought it'd be a fun video to do some quick reviews on some products that are overhyped. And when I say overhyped, I don't necessarily mean products that are bad, just products that got talked about a ton when they first came out. So yeah, just thought this would be a nice chill video, you know? Just you, me, and the dance floor. Let's jump into it. Obviously, the most overhyped product of all time is the Urban Decay Naked palettes. You know, the first of these came out a long time ago. This is the second one. This is my personal favorite. Are these overhyped? Yes. Obviously. I think the reason this got so overhyped was because it was really the first kind of palettes that I can remember where they came out with something that was like all neutral, it was super easy to wear, and it just was a kind of no-brainer palette, if that makes sense. It was something that if you were a beginner, you were just starting out in makeup, it was very non-intimidating to pick up this palette. A lot of times, you know, brands will create palettes that are partially neutral, but then they just toss in some random teal color, and that was sort of a little bit daunting, I think, for consumers at the time, especially because when the Naked palettes first came out, makeup was not quite the phenomenon that it is now, if you know what I mean. I don't think that these eyeshadows are the absolute supreme quality. They do have quite a bit of fallout, but overall, they do have some nice colors. It's a cohesive palette. There's some mattes, there's some shimmers, they're nice colors. It's usable enough. I still stand by this palette as a good gift for somebody who's just getting into makeup or, you know, maybe doesn't have a lot of neutral shadows kicking around. But I don't think it's like the end-all be-all by any means. Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. Mine is falling apart. As you can see, there's a pokey rod that comes out of here that likes to impale my hand every time I try to open this. So that sucks. This eyeshadow palette is fine. It's fine. It's fairly good quality. The colors are okay. It's relatively cohesive. There's a good mix of matte and shimmers. I think the issue with why this became so overhyped, this is like more of me being a detective and now deciphering why it became overhyped as opposed to talking about the product. But anyways, I feel that this became overhyped because the brand actually created false scarcity. I could not find it anywhere in North America, like at all. There was a ton of people that I talked to that worked at Sephora that said that they only got a shipment of like 7 to 10 palettes, which is crazy. And then I had gone to France and I saw this palette literally stocked to the fucking brim in every single Sephora in France. Like at the Too Faced carousel, it was completely stocked. They had some in the bins underneath that you're not supposed to look in, but I look in anyways sometimes. They had them at the front in the impulse buy section. They had them on the end caps. Like they had them everywhere in the Sephoras in France. So I really, really do think that this was just a case of the brand actually creating false scarcity. And I think that they did that so that they could knowingly do a second run so that it would be seen as this palette that was going to be talked about, but never able to get your hands on. So when they do their second run, everyone's rushing to go get it. That's what I personally think. Modern Renaissance palette. I don't even like to put this in a product video saying that it's overhyped because it's not. Maybe it is just a little overhyped. You guys already know how I feel about this product. I've said many, many times that it's one of my favorites. I just feel like it's a very cohesive palette. I think that they have very unique colors in there. They were kind of staying on trend with the whole idea of kind of like warm tones, but they did take it another level by adding some of these like oranges, reds, the pinks, and I think that it was just very on trend, but it was still unique and cohesive, and it just worked. This palette to me is just so nice. Is it the most incredible shadow quality in the world? Not necessarily. I do think that they have a good mix of shimmers and mattes, which is nice. So it's not like I use this palette and I'm blown away by the texture of the shadows or anything like that, but I just think that it's a palette that is worth the money. It works, and the colors are really beautiful. Case closed. Quickly, I wanted to talk about the glow kits. I just picked 2 random ones. I'm not necessarily talking about these exact ones, but obviously these get a ton of talk. See, I love the original glow kit. I love Sun Dipped. The texture was consistent throughout every single shade. It was very pearlescent and more of a sheen rather than a chunky glitter. I do feel that the texture started to change when they got into things like Moonchild and the Ultimate Glow Kit, as well as the Nicole Guerrero one. I still think that they have very beautiful shades. I think that the Moonchild Glow Kit was brilliant and it was really fun and different, but I do feel like the texture changed a little bit as well as the consistency. In the Ultimate Glow Kit, for example, there was some that were kind of more of a nice sheen and it was more pearlescent, and there were other ones that were quite chunky, quite glittery, and didn't apply smoothly to the skin. So I do think that the glow kits in general are kind of hit and miss. So I'm a little bit of a waffler on the glow kits. IT Cosmetics CC Cream. This is a product that I was like, I really don't get it. Like, people genuinely swear by this. The first time I used this, I was like, this is appallingly bad. I don't understand the hype. I don't like it. I didn't think it did anything for my skin. It settled into my fine lines. It looked dry. It smells like fucking lemons. I've tried it again, Out of Force by Jamie Page. I do like this when mixed with other things. I still don't like it by itself. I've tried it again. I still don't like it. I don't understand the hype. Mixed with things, I think it's fine, but most people aren't buying things to mix it with other things, except me. Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This one is obviously super popular. A ton of beauty gurus use this one. It's nice. I do feel like I maybe have a little bit more textured skin than other people do, because I do have like fine lines, I do have dryness, and obviously I struggle with acne and stuff like that, so my skin is quite a bit more textured than most beauty gurus out there. Shitty balls, but whatever. I do like this foundation. It doesn't necessarily blow me away, but most foundations don't. Again, you guys know that I mix almost every single foundation. It's rare that I'll just go right onto the skin with one foundation. I do think it's nice. It's worth trying, especially if you like something that's more of a medium coverage instead of full coverage or super light. I think this is right down the middle. It does have kind of a nice finish to it. It's more of a natural finish as opposed to being super matte or super dewy. So yeah, that's kind of my quick review on it. L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. There's also the Pro Matte, which I know got talked about a ton, but I would never fucking try it because I don't like to look matte, so I'm gonna talk about the Pro Glow. I do think this is a nice foundation, especially for a drugstore. I do think that it has a nice luminous finish. It does say on the bottle that it's up to 24-hour wear, and I fucking don't agree with that. Anything that's more glowy on the skin is going to lift easier just because it's not setting in the same way. It does last pretty well. I would say maybe like 4 to 6 hours. I do touch my face a lot, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. It's still super nice. My only beef with it is that it does settle into my fine lines. What doesn't though? Pretty much everything. I was asking you guys on Twitter what you wanted to see, and you guys said anything La Mer because everyone's been talking about them lately. La Mer is the most old lady brand. Can I just say that first of all? I think it's hilarious that all these like super young people are using it now. I'm gonna talk about their foundation. I have tried their moisturizer and their eye cream as well, which is ridiculously overpriced. I think it's nice stuff, but it is incredibly overpriced and it's definitely overhyped. If you look at the actual skincare ingredients, I don't think that there's anything in there that's justifying the price per se. The foundation. God, I hate to say it. It's really nice. I don't know what to tell you. It's beautiful, it's beautiful, it's really nice. It is a little bit more matte than I particularly like, but I will wear this one easily, and I actually wear this one by itself. I do really like it mixed, but I will wear it by itself every now and again, and I do like it, and I feel like it actually gets better with age, like myself. It gets better with age. I really do think that. When I first apply it, I feel like it looks a little bit more almost powdery and dry, and when I wear it throughout the day, it almost seems to kind of just like settle and look nice. I don't know, it's really nice. It's more full coverage than I thought it would be, but it's still not as full coverage as something like the Kat Von D Tattoo Locket or Urban Decay All Nighter. Get a sample if you can. They might run you like 50 bucks. Just kidding. This is my last one for foundation. I'm talking about the Cover FX Custom Cover Drops. I really like the idea behind these a lot. I like the idea of being able to mix my foundation, add it to a moisturizer or a primer really easily. I don't like it though. I think it has really good coverage and it applies okay, but I do feel like this is a little too mask-like and cakey on the skin. I don't mind adding this to other foundations that I have, but again, I don't know how many consumers are gonna be buying a foundation and then also buying an expensive foundation to drop into it on top of that. But if that is is what you're looking for because you want more coverage or you want to change the color of a foundation that you already like, then you might want to try them out. Again, just try and get a sample. I wasn't blown away by these by any means, and I do think that Cover FX has a pretty high price point, given that, you know, the packaging is nothing special and the product is, in my opinion, nothing special. Okay, I want to talk about concealers. One concealer that I feel like is a really old standby product in the beauty community is the NARS Creamy Radiant Creamy. Motherfuck, I get it wrong every time. The NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I feel like I see people using this all the time. I've used it for a really, really long time. This is appallingly expensive. I usually pick this up when I'm buying a bunch of other shit, and then I'm like, oh right, I'm out of concealer, I'm gonna grab some. And so I don't really notice the price point, but one time I bought this by itself and it was like 50 bucks. Is that right? Hold on, let me look this up. Maybe I'm being like super delusional. You know when you tell yourself something and you're like, yeah, what the fuck? And then you look it up later and you're like, oh, I was just getting like really heated about it and it's not actually true. Hold on, let me look up the price in Canadian. It's $30, but with tax, it was like 36, which is crazy. That's crazy. But anyways, fuck, I do like it, is what I'm getting at. I do really like this concealer, especially if I'm wearing something that's a little bit more like medium to light coverage. You can absolutely wear this with full coverage. I just do find that I prefer this over other concealers that I'm going to talk about in a second if I'm wearing something that's more medium to light coverage. I do feel like it has good coverage, it blends out well, and it doesn't look too dry or cakey underneath the eye area. It does crease for me a little bit, but I don't really care too much. I don't find it to be an overwhelming amount of creasing. I just find it to be like, a normal amount. So anyways, I do feel like that's worth the hype, but it's expensive and I'm mad. And obviously, Tarte Shape Tape. This has been making its rounds through the beauty community. This is another product that I do feel like is worth the hype. It actually is gorgeous. The first time that I tried it, I put it underneath my eyes and blended it out really quickly, and I was just like, my under eyes actually look nicer. Like, they actually looked less textured. It didn't look cakey, which is hilarious because it is so full coverage, but it really, really doesn't look super cakey. I don't like this really on other parts of my face. I know that some people use this like straight up as foundation. Some people use it to like really cover like acne and stuff like that. Personally, I feel like over textured skin areas like my acne or areas with a ton of pores, I do feel like this tends to accent them and look a little bit drier and cakier in those areas. But under the eyes, I feel like this concealer is incredible. It really helps to hide texture, discoloration, all that kind of good stuff underneath the eyes. I don't know why people use such an appalling amount of it. That's personal preference, but I did just want to make mention of that, not to shade other people, but just to say that you really don't need as much product as people kind of make it out to look like. I know that a ton of people show using this product with like the massive triangles underneath their eyes. Super not necessary, you really don't need it. I used just a couple quick dots of this and it's like more than enough. It's super high coverage. It is a really, really good concealer. Even when I'm wearing a full coverage foundation, I still feel like this looks very full coverage under my eyes in comparison, so I definitely wouldn't recommend it if you wear really light coverage foundation. I wanted to talk to you guys about the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops. I'm talking specifically about the highlighting ones. The bronzing ones I think are spectacular, wildly overpriced, but they're gorgeous. This is the highlighting one, so this is the one in Sunlight? Yeah, Sunlight. I don't like this product. I feel like it got super hyped up because people were doing really, really heavy swatches of these, not blended out, where it just looks like fucking liquid metal and it's gorgeous. And it is when you look at it like that. Like when you just look at this, it's stunning. This is how I feel about a lot of products. Whenever there's a product that comes out that's really new or like innovative, or there's a very different way of using it, basically for me, if it's something that's more difficult to use than its counterpart, then I feel like the results of it should be significantly different. And what I mean by that is that, for instance, if you're comparing this directly to a powder highlight, I feel like because it's more of a pain in the ass to use, it should be noticeably different on the skin than a powder highlight would be, and I just don't feel that about this. So to me, this is something that's very overpriced, it's more difficult and more of a pain in the ass to use, and it doesn't look any different from a powder highlight, in my opinion. I feel like it's kind of tricky to blend out. I feel like it looks kind of patchy on the skin. It separates with certain foundations, and it just doesn't pack any kind of punch that a powder highlight or a cream highlight wouldn't. So, basically that's how I feel. Sorry for tearing you a new one there, Cover FX. Bronzing ones though are dope. You guys totally hit the mark there. Something that I wanted to talk about that's been hyped up for a super, super long time is the Becca highlighters. I do feel like they're worth the hype. The thing that I like about Becca highlighters is the texture is consistent no matter the shade. It's not glittery, it's not chunky, it's not overwhelming. You can apply it lightly, you can apply it intense, like you can layer it. It's just a really, really, really nice formula. So I do feel like these are worth the hype. I feel like there's a good range of shades for skin tones and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah. Dip Brow from Anastasia. I feel like when this first came out, it got like a super huge spike in sales, and then there was a ton of people coming forward. That's like the weirdest way to put that. There was a super huge spike in sales, everyone on Instagram was using them, and then like it got into the hands of like regular consumers essentially, and then everyone was like, this is the worst, why is everyone so excited about this? I feel like this is one of those products that got super hyped up because it was different and people were excited, and it was something that the artist community was kind of looking for, but the consumer community wasn't really ready for or didn't really know how to use properly, if that makes sense. This is a product that is absolutely incredible if you use it correctly. It's super long wearing. It's really great for creating natural brows with. It's really great for creating dramatic brows with, but it's kind of a tricky product if you don't know how to use it, because you can make your brows so dramatic so fast with this. I love this product. I always will. It's always going to be a standby for me. But yeah, I do think that it's just maybe a little bit misunderstood. People don't understand it. They think that you can only create dramatic brows with it, and it's not true. So yeah. Okay, I got my lip products here. Take a guess what they're going to be. You're probably right. First and foremost, Kat Von D liquid lipsticks. They are talked about as being one of the best liquid lipstick formulas. I don't know why anybody asks my opinion on liquid lipsticks, because I don't like liquid lipsticks. When it comes down to it, I really don't. I don't find much of a difference between formulas. I find them all super drying, super difficult to wear, and I find that they all kind of crack and come off in the center and look really fucking crazy and butthole-ish. So I never really like liquid lipsticks. This formula for me is not anything different from that. Kylie liquid lipstick, same bit. It's the same as everything. It's the same as everything. It smells like cake, which is nice. This is something that I debated including because I just feel like it's impossible to discuss these products without people then thinking you're taking a stance based on your opinion of the product. I don't care. I don't want to get involved with anything. I don't really give a fuck. I love watching shit from afar. Anyways, regardless, Jeffree Star liquid lipstick. I ordered these a bunch myself when they first came out because a lot of people were saying that it was like their favorite liquid lipstick formula and all this kind of stuff, as they do with every liquid lipstick brand. I wasn't super blown away by these either. Again, I don't like liquid lipsticks, so take this with a grain of salt, but I did feel like there was a lot of inconsistencies in the formula. I ordered about 6 or 7 colors total, and there was quite a bit of inconsistency in scent. Some of them smelled really, really strong like gasoline, some didn't smell like anything, and then there was an inconsistency in just the texture. There were some that were more mousse-like and some that were more liquidy. I do think he comes out with some unique colors, which is always great to see within the makeup community, but overall the formula I wasn't super blown away by. Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. So edgy, so cool. This is, I mean, even in the name, overhyped, you know? It's crazy. They really like dug themselves a fucking hole, if you ask me there. I actually don't mind this mascara. I like the formula. I like how it looks on my lashes. I like the brush. I like the packaging. The thing that I don't like about it is that I feel like it flakes during the day. It gets all black underneath my under eyes, and it doesn't actually last well. So it looks great when I first apply it, which I like, but it just fucking gets a goddamn mess by the end of the day. Kat Von D tattoo liner. I use this every single day of my life. When people first started talking about this, I tried it from Sephora, picked it up, got it home, and was like, I don't fucking understand. I don't understand the hype. This is the worst. I picked up the wrong one. So there's the tattoo one, and then there's the ink one. The tattoo one is the one for me. I don't necessarily have hooded eyes, but my wing is so absurdly thick that when I have my eyes open, my wing actually does touch my crease. And I don't find that this transfers throughout the day. I do feel like it lasts pretty well. I have super, super watery eyes. It will lift in the areas that are watering, on the outer corners especially, and I have to reapply. But overall, I really, really like this. It's super dark. It's really easy to apply. It's a brush tip, not a felt tip, so it stays really precise. I do feel like felt tips can sometimes get like a little ball on the end, and they also are a little bit less flexible, so you can't have as much control and precision with them, whereas I don't have those issues with the brush tip. So that's everything for me today, you guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you'd like me to keep this up, talk about some other products. If you guys do have suggestions of products that you feel like are overhyped or you just want to know my opinion on, leave them in the comments below and I will get back to you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace out.